Do you still draw faces like this? Let me show you how you can turn it into this. But before we start, today is actually a special day because it's my birthday! Yay! First, let's study our reference. The first thing I want you to do is not worry about the details yet. Instead, try to break the face down into the simplest shapes you can see. For me, I usually start with the basic shape of the head because this gives me something to build everything else on. And don't worry about making it perfect. Seriously, this part is just a foundation, so keep it simple, keep it clean, and focus on getting the overall shape right. Because if the foundation is wrong, adding more details later isn't really going to save the drawing. So before we worry about the eyes, the nose, the hair, or anything else, let's get the basic shape right first. Now let's add our guidelines. I start with a vertical line down the face to help me position everything. Then I add 2 horizontal lines for the eyebrows and nose. I didn't add one for the lips in the original drawing, but I'd recommend it. It'll make placing the lips much easier later. Now that we have our guidelines, we can start adding the basic shape of the eyes and the nose. For the nose, I usually start with a simple circle. And for the eyes, I just use a few basic lines to get the shape down. And one thing I really recommend here is don't make your sketch too messy. You don't have to make it perfect, but try to keep it clean enough that you can still understand what you're looking at. Don't press too hard or make harsh lines because you'll probably need to adjust some of the features later. Remember, this is still just a sketch. We're just figuring out where everything goes. Now we're at the shading part. And this is probably one of the most important steps because it can really make or break the drawing. So I always start with soft pressure. This gives me more room to adjust or erase anything if I need to. Using a 2B pencil, I'll first black in the darkest areas, the eyes, eyebrows, lips, and the shadow around the nose. This helps me to see the form of the face before I start adding more details. Then I'll use a soft brush to blend everything together. And make sure you're constantly checking your reference. It's really easy to get lost when you're shading, especially when you're focused on one area. Once I'm happy with the first layer, I'll start adding pressure to build up the contrast and define the features. Just be careful here because once you press harder, it's much harder to go back. Using a 6B pencil, I'll darken the areas that need more contrast, like the eyes, some of the shadows, and the hair. For the hair, make sure to follow the direction of the strands from your reference. This will make the hair look much more natural. After the first layer, I'll blend it lightly with a soft brush, then go back in with a 6B to build up the darker areas. Finally, I'll use an eraser to bring back some of the highlights. This helps add more depth and makes the drawing pop a little more. And that's pretty much it. I tried to keep this tutorial as simple as possible, so hopefully you pick up something useful from it.